Hey guys, come and join me in the old Frog and Toad for another whiskey and pipe chat. Should be a fun one. Fun. Hey guys, Mike here from Old Man Things, and welcome to the old Frog and Toad. So let me get started. This is a whiskey and pipe chat, so I'll pour the whiskey first. I've got some Redbreast single pot still Irish whiskey, 12 years old. So I'll pour it. I have just a little sniff there. So I'll pour myself an Irish dram. I don't know if it's not a wee dram or a Scotch whiskey, but it's quite nice. So I'll let that sit or light my pipe. And I'm smoking a 7LE. Is it a 673? 673. And it's the ocean version. And it's from my personal Wind in the Willows collection. This is Ratty. I'm smoking some Swashbuckler. And using my antler tamper from the great legendary one and only Cliff Higgins. Been kind of a funny old day. It's snowing one minute, everything white. Next minute, everything's no longer white. And the next minute, it's white again. It's been doing that all day. So, to your health, everyone. Cheers. If you've never tried this is a nice Irish whiskey. It's very nice. I'm not going to begin to try to tell you what it tastes like tobaccos. I know I like it. I know it tastes really neat and it's different than, say, Jameson. But so, normally, well, I shouldn't say normally, but 2 weeks in a row, I've done a live on Wednesday night. Tomorrow, I will not be doing a live. It is my wife and my anniversary, our 22-year anniversary. So if there's anyone watching and they're getting ready to get married, or there's you guys might eventually get married, or you know of someone to get married, I'm going to tell you what not to do when you're about to get married. Because I did it. And luckily, I'm here to tell the story. So my wife and I had a big wedding plan. We were going to get married on Memorial Day weekend, the Saturday of the Memorial Day weekend of 2002. And her family was fine. It was my family. They started to be like, don't sit me next to that, because my mom and dad had been divorced since I was 6. And they're all like, don't sit me next to that person, don't do this, don't do that. And I was so bloody fed up. And it was just, we were seeing how much it was going to cost. And it was getting to a breaking point for my, not at the time, wife and I. And so it was like a Saturday, was it Saturday night? It was either Saturday night or Sunday. I think it was Saturday night. I said to my wife, because Thursday then would have been Valentine's Day. I said to my wife, what if we just, elope and get married on Valentine's Day? With a reason behind it. I remember my dad years ago saying, I wish they put anniversaries on driver's license like they did birth dates, because he said he could never remember his. So I thought I had this great idea, seeing that Valentine's Day was coming up. We'll get married on Valentine's Day, and I'll never forget our anniversary, because it's on every single calendar, right? So I said to my future wife at the time, which is now my wife now, Linda, I said, let's get married on Valentine's Day. We'll go to the Justice of Peace. So she said, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. So on Monday, it must have been a Sunday. So then Monday morning, I called the courthouse. And asked if we could get married on Valentine's Day. And they go, well, usually we require, at least a week. And I said, is there anything you can do? We really want to do it on that date. And the woman's like, just a second. She put me on hold, came back, and she said, yeah, that's fine. Just make sure you have your birth certificate and stuff. Well, people started to say, where we worked and stuff, when we told them we were getting married, a few people, they started saying that we're only getting married because Linda was pregnant. But she would have been the longest. It would have been the longest pregnancy in the bloody history, mate. Well, I had to work half a day, the day we're going to get married. And so I got off at noon, came home, and Linda was getting herself ready. And I said to her, and I meant it in a good way, but of course it didn't come across as a good way. And I said, yep, everyone's going to think you're, meaning the opposite, pregnant. But I didn't say, I got that far. I said, yep, everyone's going to think you're. And Linda looked at me and she said, everyone's going to think I'm what? I'm what? Of course, I froze like a deer in headlights. Then she thought that she looked big and started getting upset. And I was begging. I was like, no, please. I didn't mean it like that. And then at one time she's going like this with her hair. And I said, I suppose it's my fault your hair doesn't look good either. Well, don't say that on your wedding day. Make a note. Don't say that. So with a lot of pleading, a lot of tears, she agreed to marry me. So I gave her a 6-pence. And I said, put that in your shoe. And she said, shove that 6-pence up. So that was what happened 22 years ago in one day, since it's not till tomorrow. And then Linda's dad said to us, he said, you can either have the money or a party. And we took the money, and that was our down payment on our first house. So we didn't really have a honeymoon. So I wanted to plan a honeymoon, like kind of a better thing, the next year. So I thought, I'll trick my wife. So we planned all this out, right? And we were going to take, and our anniversary was now the next year on the Friday. So we were going to take that Friday off and go and stay in this old Victorian bed and breakfast and do all this stuff. It was really going to be neat. And I went to her boss, because we both worked at the newspaper. So Linda's boss was also, so like I had my manager answered to the editor, but Linda's boss was the editor. So I went to the editor, her name was Helen, and I said, Helen, told her my idea, and I said what we're going to do, and I said, can you make it so she thinks, like, so you tell her that she can't have Friday off. Aren't I naughty? So, of course, Helen's like, oh, I'd love to. So she sends out an email like 2 days later saying, there's a mandatory all-day meeting for the sales staff on February 14th this year. So Linda went up to her and said, I had that day off. And she said, I'm sorry, you have to be there. She got home that night and she was so mad. And she's like, I'm going to say something. I'm like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And she's, I'm going to say something. I said, well, just go after work. We'll go after. It'll be fine. And she was getting so mad, so mad, so mad. So I worked it so, because we had a little dog, a little Westie. We called him Scrumpy, after Scrumpy Jack, you know, the Scrumpy cider. And Linda's sister was coming to watch him. So I said to Linda, I said, well, let's pack up everything and we'll put it in the back of the car. And as soon as this meeting is over, we'll just go. So as we were driving to work, I said to Linda, I said, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to work. I said, this is our anniversary. We had this stuff planned. You already got it approved. We're not doing it. And she's like, we have to. I said, no, I refuse. And I drive past work. And she's like, you need to turn around. You can't do this. I'm going to get in trouble. I said, I refuse to. And I'm driving out of town and she's getting really mad. What makes me take such chances? And I said, open up that glove compartment. I said, I put your card in there. And she said, I don't want to see it. I just want you to turn. I said, just look at the card. So she looked at the card, and on the envelope it said Linda. And she, of course, my wife knows everything. And she saw the handwriting. And she's like, this isn't your handwriting. This is Helen's handwriting. And she opens it up. And Helen used to call Linda her sunflower. And she said, ha ha, sunflower, enjoy your day. So after I got smacked, we enjoyed our day. So hopefully that cleared up the year before. All right, guys. I shall see you later. Cheers, everyone. If you haven't tasted this kind of whiskey, I encourage you to. It's no single malt scotch, but it is probably the next best thing. And at that, I shall say, toodle pip!